Second Nature for Children is in the house. Coach, how you doing?
Well rested, man. Great, great, well rested.
Okay, we're gonna talk a little bit about that too. Doing some things that you really enjoy. You just getting back. I don't. Well, I'm sure probably not today, but you took you. Tell me a little bit
Uh,
about what you did.
Thursday.
Okay,
Eat
okay,
good, sip good, take
O-
interviews. I
okay.
mean, just live in a moment, man. I think oftentimes we get so caught up traveling, we taking pictures, we, you know, doing all the tourist things, man. Hey, just talk to some folks, man, that live there. Just have a conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just live in that moment, man. Eat good, chill, just relax, but just live in that moment. Because
Eh,
really, at the end of the day, that's all we got,
mm,
you know?
okay.
So
And where
that's
did
what
you
I do.
say? Where you vacation to?
St. Martin.
St.
St.
Martin.
Martin. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
And so you
yeah.
was gone for 7 days. Did you
Yeah,
just
7 days.
7 days?
7 days. Yeah.
Okay, and that's something you say you really enjoy doing and said that
Yeah,
maybe
man.
okay.
Just imagine you wake up a different temperature, a different part of the world, and in not 4 or 5 hours, you're somewhere totally different.
Mm,
Especially somewhere you never been before, crossing paths with people you never crossed paths before. You know what I mean? To me, that really is inspiration in life, man. Really, for me, I mean, it's not for everybody, but for me, so I like just going to places I've never been before, or crossing paths with people I've never seen before. I might never see them again. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Conversations and stuff like that. So, but yeah.
Okay. And that goes and it's gonna kind of fit in with what we're gonna talk about today. So as the family come in, make sure come in and get your popcorns and your Coca-Cola or whatever it is you like to eat and sip on. And make sure you share this information. Now, this will be 225 videos that we have out that's guaranteed somewhere along the line that can help change your life or do something to take your life to another level. And it wouldn't be right if we didn't share this information. And I always tell you that YouTube is not going to move this type of information. So it's up to us to help each other. And that's one of the reasons that we're not doing well as a people because we're not coming together to help each other. And us being a part of this universe, like I always say, that we are essential to each other. You understand? We are just like the sun, the air, the rain, because we need each other to survive. And we're not helping each other enough. And that's why you see so many of us are dying. So it's really a shame, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But man, we supposed to be pushing this information, man, to all of our loved ones and to everyone we know, and then leave it in their hands,
Mhm.
whether they'll do something with the information or not. But at least you'll be able to say, man, I sent you something to listen to, or I sent you something to kind of take heed to, when you're going through certain things or this or that. So it's really on us as a people. And that's why I always say, we have to hit the notification bell a lot of times to make sure that we are notified once we put a video out. But you know that once a week, Coach and myself, we come out and share information, for the betterment of us as a people. And so make sure you subscribe. There's no reason for you not to hit somebody up and say, hey, subscribe to this channel. Let's build this channel. This channel is for us. And check out our youth organization where we're working to help children and help support the organization. We won't even help support our children, and I'm reaching out for help for the children. And you can go to our website. We got a new website right there and see the work that we're doing. You can go to our Facebook page and see the work that we're doing. And I always tell you, if you need my help in these areas, because I deal with the mind, the body, the soul, there's my information. All you got to do is shoot me an email. Let's chop it up and see what's going on, because most of us don't know how to connect the mind, the body, and the soul together for optimal success. We just don't know how to do it. And so we need help. And one of the problems we have is that we won't ask for help. You know, we'll self-destruct a lot of times before we seek or either ask for help. So don't be ashamed or embarrassed to ask for help if you know you need help. And I know a lot of us, how could I put it? Don't I'll let that go till we come back around to it. Hey, so last week was a challenge week. So I hope that you took the time out to do something that you maybe been procrastinating about and taking a challenge, some type of challenge in your life. We got to keep growing. A lot of us have just stopped growing, and that's a problem that we're having. So each full week of every month, the beginning of that month, man, we take that challenge to do something that we've been putting off, or something that we know we need to get done, or something to do new or different. Come on, family, we got to do better as a people. But today, Coach, I want to talk to you about why Blacks are not doing well on the line. That's what I want to talk about today. So what line am I talking about? I'm talking about the line that sits between, I want family to hear this right here, that sits between your birth and your death. I'm talking about that line. The line that you will see on an obituary. I don't know when the last time you looked at an obituary, but obituary is a notice that an individual has passed, and it'll give a brief biography of the deceased person. And it would normally have their date of birth, and then it would have the date of transition. And right between those dates, there's a line. That's the line we're not doing well on. That little line. I don't know if you ever thought about this, Coach, or family who's listening. I don't know if you ever thought about that line that sits between your birth date and your death date. And if you notice, it's a short line. And it lets you know you don't have a lot of time. And that's why, Coach, when we was talking earlier about you traveling and enjoying yourself, I want to make sure that the family understand that whatever it is you want to do, you better do it. You don't have time to be putting nothing off. That line that we're living between our birth and our death, it's a short line. Because time is not always on our side. So don't be putting it out thinking about, shit, I got time to do this, or I got time to do that. No, you don't, because you don't know when the Grim Reaper will come knocking at your door. You don't know.
True.
Because just like we sitting here talking right now, here's a fact. In the morning, people are getting ready for this week. They're getting ready for Monday. But you know how many people, and I just leave it at this one thing. Do you know how many people would die in the morning of a car accident headed to work, who had the whole week planned out, and already planned out their summer and everything? So a lot of time we don't think outside the box, and we got to think. Always time is not on your side. And that's why I always talk about, Coach, that foundation of living, dealing with your mind, your body, and your soul. It umbrellas your whole life. And a lot of us haven't really sit down and thought about it, because in these three areas, we struggle the worst as a people, dealing with our mind, our body, and our soul. Are we neck and neck with another group of people? So let's look at it from this analogy. Let's look at it from right here. Let's take a person walking on a tightrope. And that's a rope or a wire for the acrobats when they doing performances. If you was at a circus, if you seen them when they try to go across the Grand Canyon, and they'll put that rope or that wire. So I want to use that analogy. I want to take that. I want to take that line. I want to take that wire or that rope, and I want to sit a little piece of that between our birthday and our death date. I want to sit it right in now. And if you understand that they will never be able to do well on that rope or that wire unless they learn how to balance.
True.
I want the family to get that right there because there's a point right there about balancing. There's a point, that line, that if those people who was performing on that rope or that wire, one of the most important things they have to learn to do to survive that line is balance. That's why, as a people, we're not doing well. Because statistics show that when it comes to our mind, our body, and our soul, we're not doing well because we are unbalanced. And we're trying to walk this line unbalanced. I want family, I want you, I want you to get that. I want you to get that right there. That's something right there. I want you,
man. Yep.
I want you to get that right there. The reason we are not doing well as a people because we are unbalanced in these three areas, and we continue to fall off the line. We only got that little short line. And don't you know that falling off that line, it can hurt? It can even cause your death. Think about that line, family. The metaphor for tightrope is dealing with a difficult situation, especially one involving making a decision between two opposing plans of action. Now it's getting ready to let you know how important decision making is. You got to get this. You got to share this information. The choices that we are making is one of the biggest reasons. The choices that we are making is one of the biggest reasons we are not doing well on the line. It's a short line. Have you ever thought about this right here? Don't you know that the longer you live, the shorter you have to live?
I can see that. Yeah.
So if you can live to be 98 years old, you can live a long time.
Long time. Yeah.
But it's a short time left.
Short time ahead of you. Yeah. You got more days behind you than in front of you.
The longer you live, that's why we got to go head on. Like you said earlier, you got to enjoy yourself. You got to get it together. Because the longer you live, the shorter, I don't know if that you have to live. Because every day you're getting closer to death.
True.
Something to think about. That's why you ain't got time. Those bad relationships and them continuous lies and just all that excessive whatever you're doing that you know that you're harming yourself. Yeah. See, we're not thinking. You really don't have time for all of that mess. You don't have time for it, family. We got to get it together. And like I said, we are unbalanced. We working so hard to survive and get money. We're not taking care of ourselves physically. We working so hard trying to get money, we just continue to make bad decisions. We're not growing mentally at all. And a lot of us don't even understand being spiritually connected because most of us are religiously connected to a custom or a formality, and we don't understand how to get spiritually connected. And we just got a short time on the line to get it together. Coach, you got anything you want to share before I go on?
It's see, that's one of the things. Let me put it like this. Where my mindset is when it comes to life, man, right now, I'm great. I'm great in terms of, okay, if the next hour or so my time's up, I'm great with that. And that's why when, like I said, my co-workers were talking about, the near misses and the planes. And I said, look, man, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not gonna live my life like that. My mindset is not like that, you know. That's one of the things I think about too. When, like I said, you're away, you're looking at the sea, you're looking at the mountains, you're getting that fresh air, you know, and your thoughts are just going through your head.
Mhm.
And that thought right there about how you're living, what you're trying to do, and even that. Are you good with that? Hey man, yeah, I'm good with that. I'll be disappointed certain things I ain't get accomplished. Yeah, but hey, it is what it is. And it's a mindset. I guess you have to be in this world for a certain period of time, had to experience certain things. You know what I mean? And you evolve so much so that you good.
Mhm.
You know, you can make someone create that mindset. That just have to happen naturally. You got to evolve to that stage. Not saying you're trying to get up out of here,
Mhm.
but you accept life for what it is, how you're moving, you know what I mean, and what it is you're trying to do. Not only for yourself, for people around you, what have you. What you trying to impart, like we're doing right here. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm saying all that to say that's a thought across my mind. Like I said, that's why my mindset is the way it is. And I know people might think that's different or maybe something wrong, but I don't care about that. If you live long as I have and experience some of the things I've experienced, you probably get it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it's a mindset, man. It's a mindset. And I know a lot of people not thinking about that.
Mhm.
They feel they have enough time. It's gonna be okay. Man, come on. You keep wasting time if you want to. You can't get it back, man. You cannot get that time back. So you keep wasting it if you want to.
And by you saying that right there, coach, what it is that when you are maturing, there's a peace that's coming. And
True. Yep,
there,
yep,
yeah, yeah,
yep,
there's
yep,
a peace
yep,
that's coming. And
yep.
then not only when you're maturing, that's why I say it's so important that we are evolving. The problem is that we are not evolving, we are not maturing. And once you begin to mature, that peace will come over you to get to the point where a consciousness will hit where no matter if I live or die, I'm good.
Yeah, yeah,
Of course, we want to
yeah,
live. Of course,
yeah.
especially you want to live once that peace come within, because you look at life different. You're
Different. Yeah,
enjoying yourself. You
yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Yeah, now
Yeah.
you're really enjoying yourself. You sure enough ain't trying to die now. You understand? Because
True, true.
there's an
Yeah.
awareness and an awakening that has come. Wow, this is okay. Because like I say, when we deal with people that are committing suicide, there is something mentally that's wrong, and they're disturbed somewhere mentally or within their spirit. So once you get that well, and they're ready to go. So on the other hand, once you get that peace, you're ready to stay. You understand?
True.
And then the problem becomes your company. Now here's the problem, because if you're the type of person who hung with people or hang with people or have to be around people, once that consciousness hit, once that peace began to come
Mm,
within, it's going to bring
mm-mm.
a disturbance to you when you're dealing with certain people, certain conversations that you're not, willing no more to even embark in. It doesn't. Your
Yeah.
mindset or your spirit won't even let you entertain that there. You understand?
And
So
I've been there a long time now. So
okay. Okay. And
yeah,
it, yeah,
yeah.
and what it does, it begins to really kind of isolate you. You kind of be
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. And
Yep.
and and what
Yep.
I've
Yep.
learned, through my travel and time that I've been here, that in order, and I want the family to hear this right here, in order for you to elevate, You have to isolate.
Isolate.
I
Yep.
want you to get that.
Yep.
Because when you're trying to go to another level, most of the folks that you're hanging around until you begin to talk to one or two conscious people, but most of the people that you're hanging around, they're not trying to go to that next level. They're not. They're just not. So I'm telling everyone right now who hear me, enjoy life. You got to learn how to enjoy life and choose to live and not just exist.
Exist. Yeah.
There's a difference.
Right. Yep.
There's a difference. A lot of us are just, we think we living, but we're just existing. When your day has come to the point where, like I said, you spend most of your day at a place you don't want to be. If you enjoy your job and you love your job, fine. Then if the shoe don't fit, you don't have to wear this shoe. But I'm telling you from my experience and me talking to people, most folks that's going to work every day, they don't like their job. So if your job,
That's
you
true.
can't, right, most
That's
folks who
true.
going to work. So you got to imagine
That's
a
true.
person that's going to work every day, spending 8 to 10 to 12, how many other hours they working? They at a place, you don't have a 24 hours in a day the way the clock's set up. So if you take half of that day and you want a place you really don't want to be, around people you really don't want to be around, that's half of your day. So once you leave
Mm.
that place, now you got to go into another place where you and this Negro ain't getting along together. I just want you to understand.
That's real, man.
Well, y'all are not getting,
That's
listen,
real.
and you want to know why we drinking so much and why we smoking so much and why we so depressed and why we stressed out. You've
Yep.
been all day at a place you didn't want to be, around folks you didn't want to be around. Now you got to clock out. That's why I see a lot of folks, they be just sitting in their car for, I go, I might be at the track or something, but they don't want to go home. They do not want to go home. I see folks sitting in their cars on their laptops for hours at a time, or
Yep.
just sitting at the park or sitting, don't want to go home, trying to get that peace. And one of the worst things to have is you gathering consciousness and you getting peace, but your mate, whether it's male or female, is not moving in the same direction that you're moving in. Your life is getting ready to be
Yep.
a living hell. If
That's
you,
real, man.
that's, is,
That's real. That's real.
if you
Yeah.
are waking up to consciousness and your mate is not waking up, God, when they talk about
That
heaven
key
on,
word. You talking about drinking. That's why they call it happy hour. Look at the time.
think about it
Look at
now.
the time of the happy hour. Let's think
I,
about it.
I want you to think about that. But see, a lot of folks don't think about that. But coach, that's why they named that. Because they
Yeah, yeah,
know. That's why
yeah,
they named that happy hour, because they
yeah.
know during the course of your day, this getting ready to be the happiest time.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
you're gonna come in because you so stressed out about whatever you've been through all day, knowing you got to go and finish it up
Mhm.
at the house, either with some bad children or a bad husband or wife or a girlfriend or whatever, whoever, whatever you got to do. But they know if I could just get this little time and pull you in this bar and give you these
Yeah,
drinks, they know
yeah,
that if I
yeah.
can impair your thinking for a couple of hours, I can try to help you get through this, what you're going through. And we don't understand. And you said it. We don't understand. That's one of the biggest reasons we're drinking so much, because we're trying to escape. And we got this little time right here to really just enjoy ourselves. And then we got to go right back in the hell.
Mhm.
Because
All over, do it all over again.
just to do it all over again. And you want to know why a lot of us are unhappy? You want to know why a lot of us are snapping on each other and acting a fool? You want to know
Mhm.
why you go to certain places and you wonder why the person behind the counter, y'all about to go fist for blows, because you're trying to
Yeah.
be rational with an irrational person who's really unhappy at their job, and you coming here talking about you want to return something. You do, they ain't with that. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it causes a conflict, and we got to do better, and we got to realize that if you're going to build a job, You're gonna have to take another mindset into that job if that's where you're going to be. Stop going in that job or going in that place or being with, so you don't have to do it. You don't
That's
have
true.
to right now, Monday morning, you don't have to go to work, but you got to figure out what it is you're going to do if you're going to survive. You don't have to be in that relationship you're in. But the thing is, if you try to pull out of it, you better be careful on the mindset and the stability of the person you're trying to pull away from.
Hear that fear I was talking about early on. If a lot of folks are fearful, like saying, of flying because of what's going on, just imagine a relationship. This man, you know that person's strapped too.
Can you
Okay?
imagine? And that's happening every
Okay,
day.
just imagine. So that's why people are going alone because they don't want no smoke. And I understand it, but it's your life. You really want to live most of your life in situations that you really don't want to be. You want to look back on your life and you want to look back on moments like that. You can't even smile when you getting up out of here because of the moments you let linger for so too long. Come on, man. Come on. You got to look at life, start looking at life differently, man. You
A,
know.
a lot of us, coach, are in relationships that we're scared to get out of them. We're scared to get out of them because, like you said, you know that this person is very jealous. They're unstable mentally. You know that, and they strapped, just like you said. And
Yeah.
it's happening every day, where we're killing each other because you can't leave me. If I can't have you, can't nobody have you. You understand? And
Yeah.
that's why I say everything is umbrellaed under the mind, the body, the soul, because that's a mindset. And that's so sad. So I leave it at this right here and just tell the family, this is what we got to learn to do. Now it's up to you whether you do it or not. If I say anything wrong, we got a comment section, there's my email address. We got to learn. I want everybody to get this right here. We got to learn how to balance our life off. We got to learn how to stabilize our mind, our body, and our soul, taking care of ourselves in all three areas. Physically, we got to get out and start exercising. I always tell you, we got to get out in nature. We got to start exercising. We got to let that vitamin D run through us from the sun, to strengthen us up. We got to get the cortisol moving through our body. We got to get our dopamine moving through our body. We got to get our serotonin. We got to get these things. These things are so important that we need to get them running through our bodies. And a lot of us are so stressed out and going through a lot of things that we're going through because, like I say, we have pulled away from nature. And we need nature to sustain us in a healthy way. So we got to learn how to balance ourselves, our mindset. We got to make sure that we're making better decisions. And we got to realize that if something is wrong with us mentally, we need to get help. That's one of the hardest one we won't do right now. And when it comes to our spirituality, we got to make sure, I don't care anything about your religion, your belief. If you're not living your belief, then you're just fooling yourself because there are principles that you must attach yourself to live by spiritually. So we got to learn how to balance off our mind, our body, and our soul so we can walk that line. We learn how to balance that off. We'll see balance. If we learn how to balance that off, then that line that sits between birth and death, we'll learn how to walk that line and live a more healthy and productive life. That's facts. The line is already short. And when you think about it, the way a lot of us are living and the decisions that we're making, we making the line even shorter.
Sure. Yep.
We make the line is
Yep.
already short and we making it already we making it shorter. So we got to start taking care of ourselves. You got to know that it's possible to walk that line. There's something you got to know. If you want to be successful, you got to bring on a consistency in your life. These are things that we all have to do. You got to know it's possible to walk that line. You gotta do it with consistency. You can't quit. You may just have to make some adjustments. Don't quit. If you know you're doing something right, you know you're doing something positive, and things may not be going, then sometimes you may just have to make some adjustments. Don't quit when you know you're doing the right thing. And I always tell you, you got to get up and fight back. You get every day, every day you got to get up and
Yeah.
fight back. You got to focus on yourself. You got to start taking care of yourself. You got to focus on yourself. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. No more excuses. No more excuses. Stop. Stop. No more complaining. Get up and get something done. Fight back. Another thing I think what has happened, we not hungry anymore. You got to stay hungry. Because one thing that I know myself, that when you eat you a good meal, you'll lay back and relax. When you get a good meal in you, you're not hungry anymore. So a lot of us are not striving for certain things because we can let a little money, little smoking, little alcohol, little enjoyment, we can let it lay us back. We can get relaxed. And a lot of us are not hungry anymore. So we got to learn to stay hungry, and we got to learn how to sacrifice. You're going to have to learn how to give something up so that you can receive something. It's a sacrifice that a lot of us, we won't make. But it's something that you got to learn to give up so you can receive something. And you'll never receive it unless you make certain sacrifices. I want you to think about it. I'm talking to somebody. And I want you to always remember this right here. And I'm done, coach. I'm going to let you finish up. I want you to always remember this right here, family. You owe you. Think about that. You owe you. You owe you to be the best version of yourself you can be. You owe you. So when it comes to your mind, your body, and your soul, I remember back in the day, ain't no more blaming the white man. That's over. We already know what we already know. We know that. But now, if you're not doing well, you can't blame nobody but yourself, because you look around now and you see people doing well. And if they can do it, you can do it too. No more excuses, no more complaining. It's time to figure it out. It's time to get with folks who's doing well, and not just doing well on the surface and look like, no, I'm talking about it's some folks doing well. It got some folks who putting on a facade look like they're doing well, who's not doing well. So you're gonna have to have a discernment, and you're gonna have to know who to deal with and who not to deal with. That's how that goes. But family, the reason we are not doing well on the line, and that's the line between our birth and our death, because we're unbalanced as a people in those three areas: our mind, our bodies, and our soul. If you ever need my help, there's my email address. We can chop it up. It don't cost you nothing to chop it up. I'm willing to help you as much as I can. And maybe you could share something with me that'll help me. Never know. I'm always willing to grow. I'm always open. I don't know it all. I'm always on the construction. Coach, I'm done.
That peace of mind, man, is something real, man. Having that peace is something real. But I can tell you about it, but you got to experience it for yourself, man. And as far as balance, I mean, like I said, a lot of people, you need money to survive. Keep a roof over your head, transportation, take care of the kids, etc. I get that, right? But you have to change your mindset in regards to how you look at this job, you know. Look at it for what it is. You know, look at it for what it is. Now, if you working on something else, then treat that job, treat that profession as your stepping stone, means to get you closer to what you're working on. Even if you're not working in something, you know you need an income. So that's your income. Embrace it for what it is. You know, you don't know what's around the corner. You know what I mean? But if you look at it with a frame of mind that everything's supposed to be how you want it to be, that's not your job.
Mm.
You just work there. That's not your job. Change your mindset, accept it for what it is. You know, I look at all jobs as temporary. Yeah, I know they say you're permanent, but for me, it's a temporary. You know what I mean? I'm looking down at, okay, what's next? And that's just real. What's next? You know, how I can make the moves in order to create the steps where I'm trying to go to. You know what I mean? That's how you got to think. Embrace it for what it is. Be grateful. You know, what would you be doing without it? Just think about that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And you might not be able to travel like I travel, but you can go somewhere, man. Could be the next state over, another city, you know, somewhere where you can get off the wheel temporarily so you can get your thoughts together. You can take that breather. You know what I mean? So you can really reflect on your everyday moving around and what you can do better or what have you. We all need a break, man. We all need a break. It might not seem that way, but we all need a break, man. So you got to find that, and that will be your balance. That will be your balance to deal with what you got to deal with. You know, like I always said, man, it's life, man. I'm living it along with you. You know what I mean? I'm just giving you what I know. I'm giving you what work for me. It might not work for you, but everything is not going to work for you. Something's going to work for you, man. Something's going to work for you. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, just get that inspiration. All around us inspiration, really. All around inspiration. You know what I mean? Find yours, man, and get that balance and so you can handle this journey called life, man. But that's what I got for you, man.
Coach, I appreciate it. I take it a heave. I need to take me a little time. I'm listening to you, and I always take your information to heart. So I got you. So until we come back together, family be good, and coach, take care of yourself, and I look for you.
All right, you too, man.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
Yes, sir.